Greetings and welcome to another video. Now, before we get into the topic at hand today, I want to say a big thank you to everybody who has subscribed to the channel. Before our video, which hit 10,000 views, the 1 hour long documentary on the state of FIFA 19, we had 100 subs or something. Now we have 750. Is that still irrelevant? 100%. It's still irrelevant, but you've made my irrelevant platform slightly more relevant. And for that, I thank you, because at the end of the day, I'm not a full-time YouTuber or full-time content creator, all that jazz. I stream for fun. I make YouTube videos for fun. I do a podcast on FIFA for fun. And, it all comes from a place of passion. I gain nothing from these videos other than the fact that I share my opinion, and hopefully people see eye to eye with it, or at the very least they give me some dialogue as to why they disagree. But at the end of the day, do this purely out of passion. And if people agree with this, then as an EA game changer, I can go back to EA and see, look, my irrelevant opinions are backed by other people, so maybe I'm not that irrelevant, Kappa. But even if you disagree, it allows me to better understand or have a grasp of the community's opinions. So by all means, please keep giving me feedback. I'll keep trying improving the delivery of that. And on that note, let's get into the video. Now, before we do, though, again, this is my team on foot. I play a 4-3-3 in Division 1, around 2,700 skill rating. And, of course, sometimes I play the second variation, sometimes I play the fifth. But the point is, Division 1 gameplay, I like to play with a 4-3-3 because I enjoy some beautiful football. Even though this game makes it harder to play. And these are the stats from the game. I'm showing you the stats first because, stats are important, but they're not all. They're a very small part of the story. So many people post on social media, look at this stat sheet. I had 35 shots. He only had 8, and I lost 3-2. You know how many times I've seen someone have 5 shots in one play because he shoots into my defender 10 times? And it goes back to him, and they all count as shots. They'll all count as shots on target, even though the ball never got to the net. So in those cases, those shots are a lie. I'm not saying people lie when they post those stats. I'm just saying you need to show me where your shots came from, right? But from this stat sheet in particular, I'm not saying I should have won, because out of my 9 shots, you can see a lot were off target. Some were off target because of the game not being good enough. Some were of my fault. But overall, the main point here is that he had one chance, one play, and that's something that the stats can confirm, right? He did not deserve to win. Did I deserve to win? Maybe not, but at the very least, it should have been a tie, and you'll see why, because the topic of today's video is goalkeeper movement. But, when you talk about goalkeeper movement or anything in FIFA, you're going to end up talking about many things because everything relates to one another. So without further ado, into the clips, right? As we show you a long-winded clip of my play, which I was kind of happy with some of the plays I did here. Obviously, that lucky lifted pass that I think would have still happened regardless, even if it wasn't lifted, because we had the angle. And we look at this finishing, right? You're saying, isn't this a goalkeeper movement video? Yes, but when you talk about goalkeeper movement, you're going to start talking about finishing. First of all, why is he not taking this with his left? Why is FIFA 19 a game where taking weak foot shots with someone with a 4-star weak foot, which is good enough, or 5-star weak foot is so hard? They always do this weird thing. Second of all, why is it going so wide? I'm not saying this should be a goal. Why is it not going into him? This is a bit ridiculous. But nonetheless, here we start to get into the nitty-gritty of goalkeeper movement as we look at this beautiful pass where he makes all the types of passes. We had a lob pass, ground pass, another ground pass, another ground pass, another ground pass, another ground pass, into a through ball. We did every type of pass in this play. And you might be thinking, how did you not score that? Oh my God, that is a fantastic question, because I'm going to ask myself that question every day until FIFA 20 comes out, right? Beautiful. It's basically a running penalty, this is, right? No excuse for this to not go top bins, 2 bars of power, perfect, not too much, not too little. He's also moved his keeper, and you might not be able to see right now, but have a look at his keeper, right? He moves and boom, right there, he committed left, and I read that, and I shot second post to account for that, right? So even if he didn't move his keeper, this should go top bins, but he did move his keeper, and I shot to the opposite side of his movement, and it didn't go in. And for 2 reasons, and we're going to see a replay that I showed in the game here. I stayed extra to see this replay because I was in disbelief, so I couldn't press buttons for 3 seconds after I didn't score this. But as we can see from this video, number one, I didn't score. The shot is horrible. It should be somewhere, should be coming somewhere here. Not only that, but goalkeeper movement is still too fast, even if it's been nerfed. And again, it shouldn't be in the game at all, ever. As you can see, boom, right there. You see how he stands 3/4 of the way this way? That's kind of what you do in penalties when you stand 3/4 of the way to one side and you try to bait the shot on the other side or do something. You try to play mind games, except he did this in open play. And again, goalkeeper movement should not be in the game, but but now that it is, we account for that. He went to the other side. I accounted for that shot to the other side, and it still didn't go in, right? But whatever, you might say it happens. It's a one-off, but like I said in the stat sheet, if he scores 1 goal and he scores, these type of things are they're gonna weigh a lot more than usual, right? Because how I didn't score here is interesting, and then we show another really nice play from myself, as we can see from the freeze frame here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Is that 9 players? Yes, 9 players behind the ball, maybe 10 because I didn't see another one. I don't know, but the point is, it's really hard for me to break this down in Division 1 in 4-3-3, so that's already difficult if I want to have some fun. Nonetheless, we do it with this beautiful football here, and we'll let this play out, because the first thing you're going to notice is how the hell did he shoot it wide, right? That's the first thing you notice. And again, Stallion, I thought this was a video about goalkeeper movement. You're just showing us poor finishing. Okay, but look at where goalkeeper movement comes in here. All right? Look at the keeper. From this moment on, just look at the keeper, right? Let's look at De Gea. Boom, right there, he walks all the way back to the line. That's a manual goalkeeper thing. That doesn't happen unless you manually select it. So what does this mean? When I saw that, I knew that he was going to be limited in what he would be able to do with this center back. And fair play to him for covering as much as he did while doing a goalkeeper movement. That's a good multitasking. But I saw that, so I knew he wouldn't be active, which is why I'm just left stick dribbling really slowly, waiting for an opening, which I get, rightly so, right? Because I read the fact that he was trying to bait me with goalkeeper movement in a situation where I'm in his box, so I know he's not going to be able to be as active as usual with him. So I have this space in this scenario right here, right? So it gives me opportunity for the ground pass into best, into here, and I shoot and it's wide. But here's the problem. If someone is able to move his keeper, which he shouldn't be, and thus, put on the second pedestal as the defender, the manual defending. So manual defending is not the priority anymore because he's prioritizing this. And then it becomes a game of reading that, which I did read. So at this point, I know I can do this. I know I can slowly dribble inside his box. And I do. So at this point, I should be rewarded with the goal, but I don't. So he gets away with giving me bait. I don't take the bait, and he still doesn't concede despite his bait not working, right? Despite trying to get me to shoot and think that he was on me when he really wasn't. So that's a big problem. At the very least, I should score that because, I didn't take the bait. Again, I said this 10 times. But we live in a world where goalkeeper movement exists, and it shouldn't. And it's not punished, even when it fails. So we move on here. And here, this is definitely not a chance I should have scored because I red time it. Completely fine with this going so off balance. But the point is here that what I wanted to illustrate is that we've come to a point where it's not that I would score this, by the way, if he didn't move his keeper. We've come to a point where goalkeeper movement has, surpassed all the rules of goalkeeping. Goalkeeping rule, like, I don't know, maybe number 1, I wasn't a keeper when I played football, but one of the top rules, cover the first post in these situations, right? Except the move here for someone who chills in 2,600, 2,700 skill rating, high Division 1 gameplay, is the move here is to move his keeper in the middle. He's giving up first post completely. How is this possible? How have you made a mechanic which leads to this, right? Because if the best players are doing this, then there's something wrong with your mechanic. That's the choice he decided to make. But nonetheless, it was my fault there for, red timing it. But again, the point was something else. Here, he scores his goal. Is there something wrong with his goal? Not necessarily, but here's the problem. This is a FIFA 18/19 type of goal. Not a lot of thought in here. One pass down, touch, shoot. That's literally FIFA 18 and 19 in a nutshell. Pass to your striker, touch, shoot. Compared to the plays that I was doing earlier, this is child's play. This is absolute child's play. obviously I'm at a disadvantage because I don't move my keeper, right? I haven't sold my soul to the devil yet. I'm not out here trying to play pro clubs and foot, right? But when this goes in, when this happens, it makes my chances missed even more, triggering. How can I be missing the chances I made when he's got 10 men behind the ball? I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 men, which means all 3 of my strikers are out of the picture. I've got my 4 defenders and my 3 CMs because I play a 4-3-3, right? If this was a 4-2-3-1, I'd have 6 people because my cam would be up front because I don't have drop back, right? So how is this enough to score, but what I didn't wasn't? Not to mention the fact that, like I've said many times, in FIFA 17, you have the defender agility to deal with the situation so much easier, right? The situation in general, pass to the striker, touch, shoot, is too overpowered and allows for such, thoughtless attacks to work way too often. Whereas, here, obviously it's my fault that I didn't defend correctly, but defender agility in this game is not good enough. But nonetheless, we go to the next clip, and here, a horrible chance on my part. I should never be having that chance because I did a 1-2 with his body. But here's the funny thing. In this moment, I was thinking, everyone says, but if the game is unbalanced, it's unbalanced for everyone. Yeah, but the thing is, you can't unlearn good football IQ, right? Someone with a good football IQ won't make the dumb decisions to get rewarded in this FIFA. But for once, I did, right? As you can see here, I barely tapped the shot button. As you see, I'm going to pause it at the right second. And I did this on purpose. This is a shot button tap, and I was like, let's see if I can get the rebound, the pinball machine rebound on this defender. And the funny thing is I did, and I missed the chance anyways with a 5-star weak foot on Ivan Perisic, which is, I'm totally cool with losing that chance. I just thought it was funny that I did something that I would never do, and I got rewarded for it just because I threw my logic down the window. And here, I'm still kicking myself, for not passing it down because that would have been an easier chance. Would I have scored? Who knows, man? No, who knows with this keeper movement. But I didn't pass down. And so if we let that play fully, right, we get the pass in to Zabio, through ball to Awar, and I shoot, and he missed. First of all, the problem here is that too much is going on because at this point, he's still retreating with Petit. And why is he doing that? Take a look at De Gea. Boom, he moves him this. That's a complete manual keeper movement to cover the first post. But if you're doing that, how is your AI actively blocking my shot or trying to? And, making it that much more difficult. This still goes up, which is unfortunate. It is his weak foot, but he is 4-star, and it is only a 2-bar power shot. So I don't know if it should really be going up the over the bar. But the point here is you've been beaten here with a ball, and you're just tracking back with Petit because you're too focused on moving your keeper. Yes, I should have passed down. But how is it that we play a game where when you move your keeper, your AI does so much work for you, right? So that's what I don't like about this situation. And that's pretty much it for the examples. Now, again, a lot of people might disagree with this. You might agree with this, but it doesn't matter. Just, open up the dialogue. Let me know what you guys think. These are my thoughts. I think in this game, I never should have lost in a million years. The fact that I scored to an attack, which was it was just child's play compared to the attacks that I showed you guys, right? And I'm not saying what I'm doing is nuclear engineering or any of that sort, but like my man pressed 2 buttons to score. I'm doing all these things and I'm not getting rewarded. I feel robbed, dude. I feel robbed, and a lot of it has to do with finishing. A lot of it has to do with timed finishing, and a lot of it has to do with goalkeeper movement and how it's super unbalanced because it's unbalanced in the sense that it allows him to get bailed out of situations. It's unbalanced in the sense that even when I don't take the bait, I don't get rewarded. So worst case scenario, there is no worst case scenario in goalkeeper movement sometimes, like I showed in this game. Right? And then in this chance, it shows how goalkeeper movement is a feature that pretty much throws away any football IQ, right? I can't imagine people who play goalkeepers in real life are happy with goalkeeper movement and the choices, people start making. But yeah, let me know your guys' thoughts. And thanks again for the recent support. Hope you enjoy. And until next time, peace out.